Welcome back, Night Owls. Mic check. Can you guys hear me okay? Welcome back, everybody. Thank you, JH. Appreciate you. Welcome back, ballers. Welcome back, Night Owls, to another episode on the BalllDontLie channel. This one titled All the King's Horses. I'm going to update this thumbnail in a little bit with Myron. What's up, Myron? How are you?
What's up, AJ? Good as always. We got started on a late night, but glad to be here. I'm excited, man. Back-to-back shows. I'm excited.
You and me both, man. I have a tendency to be fashionably late, not usually an hour later, but hey, you know what? We're on our time. Life gets in the way, you know?
Right.
And I don't even have kids, so I feel like you're like, oh, you're the one to talk. But no, good to see you, man. And welcome back, everybody. I'm really excited for this one. We had a lot of fun last night with all the Tony Stark stuff. And shout out to Decoding with Cody. I know he had another decode he shared with you on top of the 128s and the 208s that we talked about last night. I mean,
Yeah.
this is why we do this, right? Is so we keep putting things on the table and see what we can add to it. But
Yes,
tonight,
sir.
though, like you and I, like what you and I talked about, this is our third stream now talking about the King ritual.
Yep.
And now we have a very interesting addition on top of that. So technically, we talked to open last night about what our third total stream. So this would technically be our fourth or our fifth, at least, probably our fifth now, actually. But besides the point, if you guys couldn't tell by the thumbnail, we're going to be talking about all the King's horses and the legendary / historical rhyme of Humpty Dumpty, believe it or not, and how all the kings couldn't put Humpty Dumpty back together again, right? JH1 is asking, does Myron have a YouTube channel? As of right now, no. Right? I don't want to speak on your behalf, Myron. I'll let you take that.
Yeah. I don't. I mean, I have a channel, but I don't use it. It's like videos of like my kids and stuff. I don't upload to YouTube.
At least for now. Maybe one day, but I mean, man, having kids and a job and all that stuff on top of everything else.
Yeah, man.
It's probably enough to stay on top of the Instagram. But quick introduction of myself for those that aren't familiar with me. My name is AJ. This is a photo of me, baby AJ, playing alongside Klay Thompson, which is relevant. You guys will get to it later. It's part of the reason that inspired me to write my book, Clay of the Earth, right? Just early on in my decoding days of, you know what, I'm going to decode people that I grew up with and that were in my own life. And Clay was an easy one, right? Because he was in the league by the time I wrote the book. He was actually probably already a Hall of Famer. So, but speaking of the books, just a reminder, I just want to let you guys know the hard copies of Sorry Charlie are in now. And Myron, just text me your address. I'll get one over to you as well. But anybody interested, shoot me a DM, leave a comment, find a way to get in touch with me, and we'll work on getting that sent out to you. Otherwise, if you just want a free e-version, just send me an email at wordplaybook3ozenbook@gmail.com. And yeah, I always got to say, I was Clay's captain freshman year in high school at Santa Margarita in Southern California. And you could tell Clay was very happy about that. But this show's about Myron, okay? Myron is about to cook, you guys. So get those napkins, get your utensils out. This is going to be a hibachi, okay? We're going to Shogun right now. And Myron's going to be coming out with his top chef hat with all the ingredients, and he's about to put on a show for you guys. But before we do that, Myron, just like last night, if you could please set the stage for us. Let us know a little more about yourself, where people can find you, and where this next chapter of this King series that we're on. So you have the floor, bud.
Yes, sir. Thank you. So up you see, this is my Instagram. This is really the only place that I do post. I for now might start streaming later in the future, but pretty busy, have a family, kids, and everything. So whenever I put any of these together, I do share them, the ones that we have been streaming about. I save them. So if you miss a show or you would like to see some of the content that I do come up with, I do add them. I archive them into my highlights, and then you can click on them. All of our Kings presentations, those are all on my Instagram page, as well as a few other ones that we haven't discussed. But for now, this is where all of my work is. My Instagram handle is He Got Game, my favorite movie. H3GOTTGAM3 with an underscore.
Hey, Myron, I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Could you elaborate on why in your bio, so to speak, in Instagram, you said only exists in the spirit? Could you elaborate on that?
It's just because we are all like just a little deeper understanding of why we are here. Like humans thrive and we kind of operate like based on emotions, but a lot of things that are going on in the world are a lot deeper than what our eyes can really see. Like we see each other in the physical realm, but I can't see your thoughts. You can't see my thoughts. Just kind of existing through life and knowing a deeper understanding. And of course, this work is us just searching for a deeper purpose of it all and why we exist, why everything is configured the way it is. And us just finding our footing and guiding our steps in the right way. So yeah, that's my little saying, just only exist in the spirit, not getting too overwhelmed in the physical world, and then just understanding like life. Every stage of life is a growing process, and you never know too much. So there's always something for you to learn each day. So that's my little saying I like to stick by, just not to get too high or too low when life throws anything out my way.
That is beautifully said, man. And, biblically speaking, right?
Mm-hmm.
For those that haven't seen this movie, right? Hence his main, what do you even call this? Your main page?
Oh,
your
icon picture. Yeah.
Yeah. So you got Denzel. I even forget the character's name, but I do remember Ray Allen's name, Jesus.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Jesus.
And
Jesus.
when you first watched He Got Game, were you at all in this mindset before, but when you first watched it, were you just like, oh, that's kind of an interesting name, whatever? But
oh no. I mean, this movie came out in the 90s, so I was watching this when I was like in elementary school. Loved the movie, huge basketball fan. I knew all the basketball players and everything by the time I was like 5 or 6 years old. So this movie just always stood out to me. I love the cinema behind it, how dramatic it was, and not too relatable. I can relate in some pieces, but to the movie, but it's just always stuck to me as one. I think it's one of the best put together movies, especially when it comes to basketball, and it's a Spike Lee joint.
Yeah, Brandon Joseph says Jake. So was that the character that
Jake,
Denzel played?
yeah, Jake Shuttlesworth. That's
Oh, it was
Denzel.
yeah, Jake and Jesus. Okay. I mean,
Yeah,
the reason why I even point this out is because to what you were saying about what's in your bio only exists in the spirit is that Jesus himself in the Bible says, I am not of this world. Right. And the whole idea of him, coming down from heaven in human form.
correct, correct,
There's just a lot of symbolism just in that
correct.
in itself.
Correct. And I do love that a lot of these themes, these king themes, is pretty centered around the King James Bible and the Bible. And then yesterday's show about Bethlehem, still that Bethlehem in the Bible being the birth. They just use the Bible so much, and there's so much to pull from it. And I mean, religion is a huge tool in this world. I don't know where everybody, I grew up Christian, and then as I got older, I even went to Christian University, so I played basketball at Christian University. So I had to go to chapel. I've had different levels of understanding. Got to see different Bibles, Catholic Bibles, the Torah. Had to write essays and everything just on theology. So it's always like religion has always been a focal point in my life. But as you get older, you obviously just kind of ask your own questions and try to put everything together and make sense of your existence once you become a man.
100%. I feel like that's what's becoming a man is going back to being as humble as a child as you possibly can. Like,
Correct.
deprogramming everything that you were taught growing up as you were becoming a man. But then
Right.
just my interpretation is like the only way you become a man is by now breaking all of that down rather than
Mhm.
just taking it for in stride and thinking that, you got the whole world figured out. Right.
Exactly.
But I just want to answer a quick question for JH1 just about my books really quick. He was asking, yeah, I saw you have a bunch of books. Do they cost a lot to get them e-form? Absolutely not. Just email me at wordplaybook, 3 O's in book at Gmail. I will send you all of them for free. I don't do any of this for money, just so you guys know. I do it because I like to keep things documented. I need an outlet. And
Right.
I always appreciate, anybody that throws me a donation. It could be 50 cents or $1. It just helps cover the costs essentially to put these in print, pack it, ship it, etc. So yeah, JH, just send me an email. Just send me an email right here. Wordplay book, 3 O's in book. All of them are available for free. Appreciate you and your interest, seriously. But one more final thing, because I want the audience to even further get a better understanding of your background. You were a
Yep.
baller, dude. You were a baller, man. Like, these photos were just taken, off of your Instagram page, but
Yeah.
you shared with me photos, of your hops and things like that. And, I try to show that white men can jump. I don't know. I had some hops back in the day, but the tallest I ever got was 5'10". But can you elaborate a little bit more about just the types of players you played against? I mean, you did play, what is Christian University D2? Or
Yeah, it was so I started at a university in Fullerton. It's called Hope International. So they have like Biola, Concordia, Cal Baptist. A lot of those schools are D1 now. So they actually like play D1 teams. And then I went to a university, which is a fun fact, called Bethesda University. I think I was only like their second basketball team ever. Like when the university, it was a very small university out in Anaheim, but they're actually the first non D1 school to beat a Division 1 basketball team. So the year after I played Bethesda, they beat CSUN. and that was the first like non-Division One basketball team to beat a Division One basketball school.
And you were a part of that team.
I played a year prior. My best friend was on the team that took them down, but I finished after that. So their third season, they beat CSUN. But I mean, I'm from Southern California, so I mean, I've been around everybody: James Harden, Westbrook, Nick Young, that UCLA team that had like Kevin Love and Holiday and all of them. I went to high school with Josh Shipp. He was on that UCLA team, but he had hip surgery, so he didn't really make it to the NBA. But he was supposed to be like the best person coming out of that group, and you see how far Westbrook got. I played Gilbert Arenas, Josh Childress from Stanford. He was NCAA Player of the Year. My sister, she went to your college. She went to University of Arizona for a year.
Tear
She
down,
was,
baby.
yeah, man. I grew up. I loved them. My sister was like the superstar of the family. She played for in college. One of her coaches was Cynthia Cooper, which is like the female Michael Jordan. So I got to be around. I got to see a lot of that.
Did
Her
she beat up
travel.
on you? Was she was your
Oh
older
yeah,
sister?
my sister was like almost 6 feet by the time she was in the fifth grade. So she
Oh my
grew.
god,
Yeah,
dude.
man, it
Wow.
wasn't fair. Yeah, she
Wow.
was a lot taller than me. I don't think I passed her up in height until I got to like the 11th or 12th grade. So she was always like a pretty big name. I want to say she was like ranked number 30th in the country when she was a senior in high school. I got to meet like Hakeem Olajuwon. His daughter was on her AAU team. Some pretty big names. Like I've been around like a lot of big time NBA players. I didn't play in the NBA. I stopped after college, but as far as talent wise, like I've seen the top tier talent, top notch talent, and a lot of them, like a lot of the NBA players, I've been privileged enough, and thankfully, like a lot of NBA talent that is at the top of the game, they come from Southern California, so I've got to see and be around a lot of that in the hoop circuit.
Yeah, for those of you guys that aren't baller heads like Myron and myself, the moment Myron said, "Yeah, I played in the Drew League," I was like, "Oh shit, this guy." Ooh, Drew League, man. Woo, wow. Super impressive, man. I've seen your clips, that you send me. I'm like, oh man, I wish I was able to watch you back in the day. I don't know if you're comfortable sharing your age, but I was a senior in 2008.
Okay,
Um,
yeah, yeah,
and I mean, Clay and I are the same age. We're a month
yeah,
apart. So like,
yeah,
so my eighth grade year, the year before I went to Santa Margarita, was when I got to go to the Santa Margarita game at home against Mater Dei.
yeah.
And that was with Alex Jacobson and Taylor King. Those were the
Taylor
two
King,
main guys.
yeah.
And Santa Margarita won that game. Tyler Smith just went off. He ended up, anyways, I don't want to go down a huge rabbit hole, but my freshman or sophomore year, I've told you, I found a way to play and, be decent based off of the skill set I knew I had. But
Right.
the closest I ever brushed elbows with somebody was Demetrius Walker. Do you remember him?
Oh, that name sounds familiar.
Dude, they were calling him the next LeBron James. He was on the
Okay,
cover of Sports Illustrated and all this stuff.
okay.
And it was a basketball camp that he was there too, but he didn't even play. It was weird. He was like there, but he was, I don't know, a tweaked ankle or something. But anyways, yeah, I just want to throw that out there. He ended up playing at J Sarah, which is in the same conference as Santa Margarita, but nothing ever
Okay,
happened with him.
okay.
But all right, enough about that. I guess my last question for you, Myron, what do you stand at? Like you're what, like six? You're tall, dude.
Yeah,
You're like
I'm
six
six
five,
six.
six.
6'6".
Jesus Christ, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
6'6".
This is a big boy over here, you guys. He can ball. But thank you for sharing a little bit more about yourself, Myron.
Of
Much
course, man. I
appreciated.
appreciate you.
I think it helps gives more context, right, where we all come from. So,
Yeah.
anyways, let's get started. Let's jump in.
Yes, sir.
The King and his horses. Do you have the Humpty Dumpty rhyme memorized? It's pretty short. If anything, maybe I should just read it
Yeah, I
really quick.
do. So this is, of course, Humpty Dumpty is one of the fictional characters in the sequel to Alice in Wonderland Through the Looking Glass. And I know like Alice in Wonderland is a big, deep rabbit hole kind of production. So I felt like that was fitting to label it like all, because the saying is all after Humpty Dumpty falls off the top of the wall, all the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put them together again. And I do like, I think a big fall, as I've been talking about, when it comes to LeBron and his King James ritual, him heading into breaking the all-time season games played at 1611, that is going to happen in the year of the horse. And I believe that's significant. So all the king's horses and all the king's men, I felt like was a fitting phrase for what was about to come in the NBA and even outside of the sports realm as we look at all these worldly events that are taking place.
Brandon just did us a solid. So we're gonna read the rhyme. We're gonna read the rhyme.
Oh, we gotta read it.
Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall.
Mm-hmm.
All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty back together again. Right?
Yep. Yeah.
And then I guess there's a round two. Humpty Dumpty sat on the ground. Humpty Dumpty looked all around. Gone were the chimneys. Gone were the hooves, the roofs. All he could see were the buckles and the hooves.
Horses.
Wow, Brandon's all over this. Humpty Dumpty counted to 10. Humpty Dumpty brought out a pen. All the king's horses and all the king's men were happy that Humpty's together again. I think it ends there. That's unless Brandon's got another. I didn't even know it was that long.
I didn't know they had more verses.
Yeah, there we go. No, but thank you very much, Brandon, for throwing that in there, because I think that's a good way to set the scene with all of this. And
yes, indeed.
You and I were talking offline about it's just eerie to me that back in November, early November, I did it's a very short video. You guys should check it out, called Humpty Dumpty. And it was about the death of Bob Trumpy, legendary broadcaster and football player for the Cincinnati Bengals, same state as LeBron James in Cleveland, right?
Yep.
But I was just, honestly, most of this just had to do with just trying to find a clever thumbnail. Like, it's not really even much about Humpty Dumpty. I mean, I maybe allude to it for a second, but it's crazy to see how things boomerang back rather quickly.
Right.
And you and I both know it wasn't because you watched this video. Anyways, let's get started, brother. You have the floor. Sir. I got my notepad and pen ready to go. So get your popcorn ready, everybody.
Yes, sir. All right. So the Great Fall, all the king's horses and all the king's men. So we are living in the NBA age of the king, LeBron King James. A little bit of background of our series is that when he eclipses the all-time regular seasons games played, he will reach 1,611 games. That's significant because his nickname is King James, and the King James Bible was published in 1611. The second play on all the king's horses and all the king's men are all these horse teams that are just prevalent right now because LeBron is going to break this record as we enter into the year of the horse. So once he breaks the all-time regular seasons games played, we will be in the year of the horse. And it's fitting that the horse franchises, the superstars in the NBA look to be the future of the NBA, as well as the NFL teams having success currently. One of those teams just happened to be the Denver Broncos. I'm not sure if they have the best record, but I know they are one of the top teams in the NFL right now.
And shout out Widow's Son. Everybody right now, if you guys are not following Widow's Son, please follow him right now. Sean Desad, Widow's Son. Good to see you, brother. Thank you for this amazing contribution. Isn't it funny that in the world of basketball, you play horse?
Exactly.
You're not going to play Think about that. I mean,
Wow.
it's so simple. It's like right in front of your face. I should have
I didn't even think
I
about
should have known that.
yeah.
Yeah, no, that's amazing,
Yeah.
Sean. Sean, that's amazing, dude. Thank you so much for that one. But yeah, like we're talking about Cooper Flag, right? Him coming in shortly after Luca, the other legendary horse, and then we're gonna get into the legendary horse in Dallas later. But yeah,
Yep.
and then you look at the Broncos and also I want to say one other thing when you were talking about where Humpty Dumpty came from, right? Through the looking glass and how it's
Yep.
connected to man. Sorry, my brain's spinning right now. Alice in Wonderland. Shout out to
Yep.
Rambo and Cody. They've been doing some amazing stuff. Particularly Rambo talking about what was the guy with the hat and he had the 106 on it?
Is that the Mad Hatter or is
Yeah,
that someone else?
yeah, the
Okay.
Mad Hatter. Yes, yes, the Mad Hatter. 106. Well, we're about to enter the 106th. Well, we're in the 106th NFL season.
Hmm.
See what I'm saying? So
That's a big connection.
several episodes ago on Eye to Eye, yeah, he was touching on the 106 connections and the Mad Hatter, you know? So, but yeah, thank you again, Sean, for that one. Yeah, basketball and horse. There you go.
Yes, sir.
Yep, researcher throws in, you know, the Pistons are one of the best teams in the league right now, too. We're going to get there.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So, all right, on to the next one.
All right. So just to reiterate, as LeBron James is set to break the all-time regular season's games played to match his King James ritual, he will be completing this ritual in the year of the horse. And fittingly enough, in the NBA, all of the teams that are horse themed just happen to either have a promising player on their team, as I'll get into, or they're just destined to have success in the future. That looks like the way they're setting the NBA up right now.
Yeah, and Sean says, I always wondered why they chose horse when it could be any word in the world. But it's
Maybe
horse.
maybe this is the answer that he might be looking for.
Yeah. Yeah, there we go. Well, I got a feeling Sean will have more by the end of this presentation for sure.
Yes, indeed.
And to shout out to Cody, I don't want to take your thunder right now, Myron, but you know, Cody pointing out everything about Philip Rivers, lover of horses,
Yes.
means
Yep.
Philip, etc. So this is why we do this, you guys. You guys are all amazing. Thank you so much.
So on the chessboard, the horse on the chessboard, he moves in the L shape, and I thought that was fitting. Like I said, to fit LeBron, who is the king. Your goal is to capture the king on the chess game, and the horse a piece moves in the L shape. So I just thought that was a nice little play. The horse, which is called the bishop, that sits upon the rooks, and I thought the rooks was a good play on the not the last three, but over the most successful, I think, number one draft picks over the last like 5 or 6 years or so. 3 of those number one picks do play for horse teams. We'll get into the next slide.
Before we do, I'm going to need a quick refresher on the pieces in chess. I think I could
Yep.
rattle them off. But
Yes.
I always thought that this horse piece right here was the knight. I thought
Is
this
it
was
the
the
knight?
knight. I thought this was the
Okay.
knight, and then you have the king. You have the king and the queen, obviously.
Yeah, the
royalty.
king, the queen, the pawns.
The pawns, right?
Yep. The rook is the
Us.
castle.
You know, you got us on the front lines, killing each other first, right? But then, yeah, the knight, the bishop, the rook, right? Like
Yep.
what we're talking about. But think about that bishop. I mean, we just talked last night about the cardinals, that whole ritual with, you know, the Pope and
The Pope, correct.
but yeah, I'm pretty sure somebody in the chat, keep me honest here, that this horse piece is the knight.
The knight.
And the knight moves in an L shape. You know what this reminds me of? I'm going to do a quick plug for our eventual stream we'll do on Like Mike.
The Knights. The
Make
LA
me
Knights.
like Mike playing for the Knights. So make sure to look out for that one, you guys. But staying on track here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the knight that moves in the L shape, if I'm not
The L,
mistaken.
yep, yep,
But it doesn't take away from anything that you're sharing right now. I just
yes.
trying to be as on point as we can.
So of the three rooks, they've all been drafted number one that played for horse teams. Cade Cunningham, of course, plays for the Pistons. Wemby plays for the Spurs. If you don't know what a spur is, it's just the object that's used to control like the direction that the horse moves in. It controls the horse. And then, of course, Cooper Flag, that's plays for the Dallas Mavericks. So these are all number one draft picks that are quickly becoming the face of the future of the NBA as the king, LeBron James, plans his exit from the NBA.
Can we get some likes or some subscribes here with this? Because this is unbelievable. I never even thought about that, dude. And as you were sharing this on your story, it's amazing. Like seriously, I had never thought about this connection like with chess and I'm pretty sure there's a lot of commentary out there where they say basketball's like chess, just moving pieces. You're moving the ball
Right.
around. You're just finding kind of the open spot. Where can I stay open to not get knocked out? That kind of
Yeah.
alignment. So
Just a
that's
lot of
amazing.
moving pieces, correct.
Yep.
And then, yep. So the first horse team, the Detroit Pistons, again, for Lakers history, the Lakers started in Detroit. They were the Detroit Gems for 1 year. And then they moved and became the Minneapolis Lakers. But another play on horse, Cade Cunningham, this year is the dark horse for MVP because he's having a fantastic season. And they just happen to play LeBron on his birthday this year. So LeBron is going to play one of the horse teams on his birthday as he is set to break the record in the year of the horse as well.
Yeah, I did think it was interesting. I saw a quick little biography of him. It wasn't like a full blown thing, but it was a couple minute clip about how, he was going through the tough times in Detroit and he never wanted to leave Detroit.
Right.
And after all this time, it's finally paying off. And it just so happens to be happening right now.
Yep. Our next team, the San Antonio Spurs, of course. We all know about Wemby. We all know that he's looking to possibly be the best player in the NBA once LeBron steps aside. Even though LeBron is old and he's not technically the best player right now, he's still considered, a lot of people think he's the best. They think he's the GOAT, but once he steps down as the king in the NBA, I do think they are prepping Wemby because Wemby can do a lot of things that we really haven't seen done on the basketball court at his height. But he is another number one pick that plays for the horse team. And he does happen to have the rook on the chessboard is a castle. And he does have a teammate whose name ends in castle. If you were watching the NBA Cup last week, LeBron just happened to give his jersey to Castle as well.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's right. I did see that photo of
Yeah.
Castle holding up, the King's jersey.
Yeah.
What's funny is look at the number 1 on Wemby's jersey. It looks like a rook, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Kind of high on the top, skinny, low on the bottom, just like the rook. Wow. Yeah, I had one other piece on it. It'll come back to me. This is blowing my mind, dude. Black and white, just kind of like the checkerboard floor, just kind of like how you play chess on a checkerboard floor. How about that one?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, victor. Like when you're the victor, you get crowned.
Correct.
I'm the king. I'm the victor. Kings live in castles, right?
And then the final piece, I'm not sure. I might get this stat wrong, but I do know Cooper Flag didn't he break because he had like a 42-point game or something like that. He's now the youngest rookie to score or have a 40-point game that was once held by LeBron.
I don't know if it was held by LeBron, but he did set the record.
Okay,
and for the record, LeBron James equals 42.
There we go. And LeBron James. And this is another rookie. He may be the potential rookie of the year. I know VJ Edgecombe is having a great year wearing the number 77. But Cooper Flag plays for another horse team. He could be the rookie of the year as we enter into the year of the horse.
And you and I also talked offline briefly about Paul Revere when he was saying the British are coming, the British are coming. Wasn't he waving a flag while he's riding a horse? I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a whole different thread on that too. But oh yeah, and shout out Brandon. We talked about that too. I mean, what do Cavaliers ride?
Exactly.
Horses. And what were they?
Exactly.
They were warriors, right?
Exactly.
So here we go. Widow's Son cooking as well. Shouting out Brandon Joseph. The start of the horse year is exactly 158 weeks after LeBron became the all-time leading scorer in the NBA. 15-8 like OH. It's also 15 like Kobe, and number 8 like what Kobe wore.
Hmm.
A lot of people think that Kobe was the true king, so to speak. But great addition, Sean. Thank you.
Yes, indeed. Quick little synopsis going away from basketball, going into the year of the horse, the NFL. The Denver Broncos are having a successful year this year. They have made it to the Super Bowl 3 times in the year of the horse, which they've lost all 3 times. I don't know. I haven't followed too much of the NFL. But I do know the Broncos, they will be in the playoffs as far as a Super Bowl run. I will leave that to the experts.
Yeah, this is more of a basketball stream, but this is definitely worth bringing up as well.
Yeah.
Researcher is still getting ahead of us a little bit, but we'll throw it out there. AJ, the teams that LeBron has had a lot of playoffs: Spurs finals ×2, Mavs finals, Pistons, Eastern Conference finals.
Yes,
we're getting there.
We're getting there. I love it.
You're on the
they're
same
definitely
wavelength.
on track. Yeah.
You're on the same wavelength, Researcher.
Yes, sir. This is all Cody. I had this on my Instagram, but this was all Cody. He had a whole stream on this about the Indianapolis Colts. They're also doing well. They are over 500, but I don't know if they're going to make the playoffs. Maybe a wild card team, but they just signed Phillip Rivers. And then what does the name Phillip mean? It's lover of horses. So that was definitely something that I saw while watching the stream with Decoding with Cody.
If I can add to that for a quick second, a couple things about Phillip Rivers of all people. What's really funny is that Cody, I think on the last Eye to Eye stream right before this happened, Cody, the whole stream, we were on a massive 17 alignment with so many things. And sure enough, Phillip Rivers comes in and takes back number 17. But think about Rivers and Charlie Kirk, right? Well, there was a river that actually runs down the steps of like the little area where Charlie Kirk was killed. So you got that connection. But also, what was the other team that Phillip Rivers played for? He only played for 2 teams, from my understanding.
Chargers.
The Chargers, when they were still in San Diego. Shout out Sean Desad.
Yeah.
I mean, where are they now? They're in LA, right?
Yes, they are.
Home of the King. King James, and then you got Charles James Kirk. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Did you catch that the Oregon Ducks, who Charlie Kirk was a fan of, their very first game in the playoffs, did you see who they played?
No, who did they play?
James Madison.
Oh, God.
And James Madison's mascot is a bulldog that wears a crown, like literally a purple crown.
No surprise there.
But anyways, Researcher, we're now getting there.
Yes, for the moment. So
yeah,
how to become the king. I thought this was significant. I put this piece together because I know in the movie, I'm not sure, I don't want to get the context wrong, but I do know like she discovers the mirror and then you pretty much have to start putting pieces together in reverse. And that was a perfect way for me to set this up. And you are all like following along in the chats, dropping pretty much what we're going to discuss. So the three horse teams, they have the number one picks right now. Cade Cunningham of the Pistons, Cooper Flag of the Mavericks, and then Wemby of the Spurs. Now, as we go in reverse, we're going to look back into LeBron's history against these teams, and it's pretty much solidified like his playoff career, his NBA Finals career. It's all been dictated by these horse teams. The first one, LeBron, he made his huge leave from Cleveland to Miami. And his first kind of, I know AJ said this was something like a humiliation ritual for LeBron, but he ran into the Dallas Mavericks, which is a horse team. He lost to Dirk Nowitzki, of course, and Dirk Nowitzki has the same birthday as the original King James. King James the Sixth and Dirk Nowitzki share the same June 19th birthday.
Dirk wearing number 41 like Dallas, but also like King.
And
you know what I mean? Like, of course he's wearing number 41, cooking the King, which equals 41.
Yep.
Wearing the horse uniform, you know?
Yep.
It's just amazing after all these years later. It makes so much sense.
And then next, LeBron runs into another phenom who just happened to play in high school, who's from Riverside, California. He played for King. He wore number 22. And of course, number 22, King equals 22 again. So Kawhi Leonard plays for another horse team, and he just happened to give LeBron another finals loss and one finals MVP. So LeBron has had a lot of history with these same teams who now are like on the upside as he's planning on exiting the NBA. These teams have had a lot of success over LeBron, and they all have the King theme tied to them as well.
And two different talking points, at least that I would like to throw in here with this, is we were just talking about the Oregon Ducks, right? For some reason, Charlie Kirk is an Oregon Ducks fan. Well, it's already out there that I'm on the Oregon Ducks because of the Charlie Kirk things.
Mm-hmm.
But don't forget that the starting quarterback of the Oregon Ducks, Dante Moore, I think his name is, he went to Martin Luther King Jr. Senior High School. And what happened to Martin Luther King? What happened to Charlie Kirk, right?
Correct.
So you got that piece. And then also I was just thinking Kawhi Leonard, you know, most of these superstars, when they get their first shoe, their first logo, you know, usually it's their initials, right? So I'm pretty sure Kawhi Leonard's is KL. It's one letter off from kill. So you got that too. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that's much of a stretch at all.
Right.
King
then
and
I know
KL playing for King. You know what I'm saying?
And then you were saying you did a bit on Kawhi, and because Kawhi ended up being the king of the North also when he was the person to defeat the Warriors after King James beat the Warriors. The next team to beat them was Kawhi Leonard and the Toronto Raptors, and Kawhi ended up being called the king of the North after that.
He became the king of the North because Toronto is known as the North. And he beat the team in Northern California, right? And Kawhi Leonard's birthday, go look it up, just so happens to be the same day as the founding date of San Francisco. Wow. I know we're getting close here to the end, but like researcher brought up earlier, another very important alignment with the horse themes with everything we've been talking about.
Well, the Pistons. So for those of you who have followed LeBron's career, he had a prominent, pretty much like his breakout game was against not he had good career games, but this was the playoff game that everybody thought was like his first Jordan-esque like performance. The double overtime game against the Detroit Pistons, who's guarding him, a Prince, Tayshaun Prince is guarding him, another Southern California player. And Detroit plays in the Palace. They used to play at the Palace.
Oh
So
my
this
God.
was fitting for King. Of course, LeBron's first game is against the Kings of his career, and then his first pretty much game that puts him at pretty much into superstar status. It happens in the Palace against Tayshaun Prince, where they pretty much said like LeBron is now clutch. LeBron was making all the clutch shots. He wasn't passing the ball. He looked like Jordan. He couldn't be stopped. This was the game, and I believe this might have been the year where he beat Detroit and made it to his first finals against the Spurs.
And got that ass whooped. Man, that's incredible. I just thought of something too, and it could be totally unrelated, but do you remember the movie The Man in the I think it was called The Man in the Mask? It was like a Leo movie. You know what I'm talking about?
I haven't seen that.
Do you know what I'm talking about though?
No.
No? Hold on a second. I gotta look this up since it's
Okay.
The Man in the Iron Mask. What were we just talking about
Oh,
last night?
yes. Yeah. That movie was popular.
Why do you think I'm bringing this up? Specifically talking about this Pistons team. There was another player on that Pistons team
Rip
alongside
Hamilton.
Rip Hamilton, and that was his whole thing was wearing the mask.
The Mask. Yes, it was.
I'm just trying to see if like was this based off of like folklore? Oh my god, dude. Jeez. Look at this. The director of this movie, his name is Randall Wallace. So now you got Rasheed Wallace involved with that movie.
Yeah.
And Man in the Iron Mask. Sorry, man. We're not gonna. Oh god, I gotta stop myself quickly. Here we go. Hey, you know what? This is perfect timing. Look who's in the chat. We got Golden.
Yeah. Yes. There we go.
We got Golden. One final slide. Hold on, really quick. Let me get the link here. Golden, I'm going to put the StreamYard link in the chat. So just click on that bad boy. I will look out for you. We have one more slide in Myron's presentation.
Yeah, just to conclude, the number 6, and with King James going into the year of the horse set to break his record, I pretty much think it's fitting. The end of the Bible is Revelations. The end of LeBron's career is being revealed to us through the 1611 and its correlation to the King James Bible, and Revelation 6, which LeBron's alternate number has been, discusses all of the horses in Revelations.
Like we talked about, it's all biblical, right?
All of it, literally from start of LeBron's career down to the very end. The end of the Bible is Revelations, the 6:6, the 66 books in the King James Bible, the 1611 and the publishing date of 1611 for the King James Bible. Um, him passing Robert Parrish, where a parish equals a church. This is just the perfect fitting conclusion to the book of Revelations, the book of LeBron's career, ending in the year of the horse, and everybody's going to behold the horses in the book of Revelation.
The 4 horsemen.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show, Golden Age. What's going on?
What's up, guys?
Yes,
just got off
sir.
work.
What's up?
But we here, live and
Oh,
present.
man.
And, I'm ready to hear. I was listening to what y'all had been saying, and leaving some great topics for me to spin off on. Just all the horse team talk. It's very relevant right now. Obviously, the Spurs are doing well. Mavericks got the first pick, and then the Detroit Pistons, who have history with the Spurs back in 2005, which would be 21 years ago. they're looking nice too as well. But y'all can go ahead and finish off this presentation, then I'll be ready to chime in.
We just did, brother. We just did.
Yeah, it's all you.
Yeah, okay. One thing that me and Myron were talking about like late at night was the Greg Popovich correlation, because I've been heavily on Greg Popovich, being from San Antonio, and this 28th going into next year on January will be the first ever National Greg Popovich Day here in San Antonio, as he turns the age 77, and his birthday is 1/28. Like how bridge collapse equals 128, and you go back to the Francis Scott Key Bridge, we all know how it went down at 1:28 a.m. And then even before that, on 9/11, the second tower went down at 10:28 a.m. 1028. So it's like no slouch of a number. And 128 days later from Greg Popovich's birthday is 6/5, which is game one of the NBA Finals. 65, bridge collapse also equals 65. You can also write the date 5/6, like how San Antonio equals 56. And yeah, his middle name is Charles, so that's why it's so important to go on with the Charles theme. And he also coached 29 seasons, and he's in the 77th year of his life, just like how there was a total of 2,977 death tolls on the day of 9/11.
That's a good one.
And yeah, so I mean, they're definitely gonna tie this all in, with the whole, King Charles, King James theme. LeBron James has like the most respect for Greg Popovich, for all those battles in recent years. Also, Myron, whenever you had brought up Kawhi Leonard, the two players that they traded for DeMar DeRozan was number 2 Kawhi Leonard and number 14 Danny Green. Just to show you how important the 214 code is here in San Antonio and just overall, because the Pope Francis' death was 21/4. This past year, the Spurs got the 2nd and the 14th pick, like 214. It's just more ripe than ever. I always tell people, like, in order for rituals to go about, certain people have to be in the right positions, the right age, and the timing's everything. Because these are all like hundreds of years before these people are even born. I'm sure like they have their destiny set out.
You know what's so bizarre too, Chase, is what Myron and I were talking about to start the stream was, this is why we do this, right? It's because we're all on our own journeys of truth. But as we get together, each of our own coding and research just gets better and better. And like we're helping each other. And when you mentioned that 214, I mean, shit, I can't wait to meet you, man. I'm right up the road from you. It's going to happen.
For sure, yeah.
I had been on my own 214 thing, and it had nothing to do with San Antonio. It had to do with Arizona, where I went, where my alma mater, right? And this goes back to last year. It's like the very first video I did on YouTube, talking about how the state of Arizona was founded on Valentine's Day, the date 2/14. You see what I'm saying?
That was the first day Pope Francis got admitted to the hospital on Valentine's Day, 2/14.
And what is like the Texas anthem? Deep in the heart of Texas. See what I'm saying? Right. Dude. And then, hey, Myron, what is arguably the biggest name to come out of Arizona basketball? He's an old school one. And where did he end up playing college ball or NBA ball from Arizona? I mean, to put you on the spot, like when I tell you, you'll know, but
I'm like, there's so many players out of Arizona, right?
Sean Elliott.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes. I was just talking to Chase about him too.
Yeah. So like all these years things old. That just hit my brain. I was like, okay, I was on the 214 thing because of Arizona founded on Valentine's Day, 214, and then here comes Golden Age coming in with the 214 zip code is the Spurs, like it's San Antonio.
The 214 zip code area code's actually Dallas, but this.
Oh, okay, all right.
Whenever Pope Francis died, the intern Pope was out of the 214 area code, a bishop out of Dallas.
Hmm.
Yeah, so it's just
Not too
it's
far away.
deep.
I mean,
Yeah,
well,
Dallas is like
you
4
want me to
hours
talk
from
about
San
Dallas
Antonio.
and Love? Dallas is home of Love Field.
Yeah, the big giant eyeball too, that equals 113, just like how Dallas, they have that
Yeah.
big giant eyeball downtown.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they have their DFW big airport, but right, the next one to it is Dallas Love Field, and that goes back to 3 or 4 years ago now, when you had that huge Dallas plane crash. Before we entered the year of plane crashes, that was right before the Top Gun Maverick movie came out, and that happened right outside of Dallas Love Field. You know, it's just crazy how things just keep boomeranging back as you pay attention to things.
Man.
Jason Kidd, Be as a Child, you know.
Yeah, we were talking about Jason Kidd too.
Yeah,
Frederick.
Dude, he has the same birthday as Kyrie Irving, and you have Irving being a suburb
Irving
of Dallas.
Morrow. Yep. And remember,
Same day that Nia Love died, bro. This is like the shit that I was talking about in the very first 1 or 2 videos I did. You know,
remember
Mia Love
too.
died. Anyways, sorry.
like,
Go ahead.
oh my bad, I'm just now leaving. Forgot something.
I
But yeah,
know.
Sean. Yeah. Oh my bad. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna about Kyrie Irving because he's set to return. They said he's gonna return soon, but he got hurt. Remember last year's All-Star game was in San Francisco with the Warriors, and he got
Yeah.
hurt. He tore his ACL against the Kings. He tore, yeah. So he and Irving Morrow was huge. He was connected to Irving Morrow because of the Golden Gate Bridge, and he ends up hitting the game-winning shot for the Cavaliers pretty much when they took down the Warriors. But he just happened to play in the All-Star game up north in San Francisco's home. I mean, in the Warriors' home arena, and then right after the All-Star game earlier this year, he tears his ACL against the Kings.
The King, yeah, the Kings, you know, the history of LeBron and the Kings. Well, 42 minutes his first game.
Yeah.
And that's where DeRozan is currently right now.
Yep.
Researcher, by the way. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you guys. Sorry, go ahead.
No.
Researcher made a great observation about Sean Elliott. He underwent a heart procedure last year.
He sure did, yeah. That's true.
Oh my God, man. Thank you for sharing, researcher. That's a good one.
Yeah, he's 58 years old, just like how San Antonio equals 58, and then the Pope Leo being elected on 5/8.
You guys remember what happened earlier this year in Dallas? Stabbing in the heart, the twins.
Which twins was it again?
It was, I would have to go back. I did a video on that as well at the time, but a brother was stabbed in the heart. During in Dallas,
Frisco.
in
Carmelo
Dallas.
Anthony.
Yeah, the football player.
The guy's name was named Carmelo Anthony. The same day Carmelo Anthony gets inducted in the NBA Hall of Fame, he was a brother, and the whole story is that his twin brother was holding him in his arms as he died because he got stabbed in the heart. This was in Dallas, so there's your 214 connection in Dallas, right? And Cooper Flagg. Did you guys know that Cooper Flagg has a twin brother?
No way.
His name is Ace, just like the name. There was Carmelo and Ace, if I'm not mistaken. Dude.
I did not know Cooper Flagg had a twin.
Yeah. He has a twin brother.
Yeah. Today's also the first day of Capricorn, which LeBron is, and he's born on the 8th day of Capricorn season. So it's making a lot more sense on how he ended that streak with 8 points. You know, also paying tribute to Kobe. And Capricorn is the sea goat, and everyone refers to LeBron as the goat.
There was a video I did with shout out TJ Contemporary Problems. Excuse me, a little over a month ago now, and he brought up the seahorse connections with Clay. and how during the time with the Warriors, the entire starting lineup were all water signs. You know,
That's crazy.
so just something to
Wait,
throw out there. Think about the
when is
water
Clay's
horse and
birthday
the fire
again?
horse. February
It's
28th, the day of the Super
Feb-
Bowl.
yeah, it's the day of the Super Bowl.
Oh, so he's a Pisces, right?
No, he's an
Or
Aquarius.
that's an air sign, I think.
It's an air sign, but he's an Aquarius, Aqua,
Oh
right? So he's
yeah,
got those water themes in it. And
the
yeah,
Aquarian. Yeah,
yeah, the gist right now with Clay, you know, after the book I wrote years ago, I mean, think about this. He left San Francisco where he was idolized to become a horse, essentially. And then now he's dating Megan the Stallion, which is a horse. You know what I mean? Kind of started there.
Yeah.
And then Megan the Stallion was in the news saying that she wants to perform at the Super Bowl. Of course she does. Like, it would not surprise me in the slightest if you guys can find a feature out there that Megan the Stallion has a guest appearance at the Super Bowl. Why would you not take that?
You know what I'm thinking too is what's crazy with that is so Clay pretty much like his career got messed up because in game 6 against Toronto against the Raptors. But who Megan the Stallion was dating before Klay Thompson was Tory Lanez. Tory Lanez is from Canada. And I know he had like a stabbing. He got stabbed. I don't know if it was this year or last year, but it was like a big news story that he had ended up getting stabbed, but he's in jail because of Megan the Stallion. And so I'm
and
like,
Tory Lanez, right?
yeah. So he's in jail because of Megan the Stallion, and now like he's from Canada. Clay got hurt playing against the Raptors from Canada, and now he's dating. He's a horse. he's playing for the horse, dating Megan the Stallion. Yeah, that's a weird. I wonder if there's anything deeper or some kind of connection with that.
Yeah, I did. Like I said, there's a reel on my YouTube and or on Instagram just pointing out kind of a quick breakdown on that. And I think I did that because TMZ reported that Megan the Stallion wants to perform at the Super Bowl. And I was like, oh, really? On your boyfriend's birthday, where he left San Francisco where the Super Bowl is going to be. Now he's dating you, a horse, and now he's a horse. See what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
It's just like, okay, this is there's so much to it. There's so much to it, but keeping a high level, you know. What else we got, you guys? Was there anything else you guys wanted to chat about? I know, Golden, you came in a little late. I'm not sure how much you were able to catch of Myron's brilliant presentation.
Yeah.
But
I could talk about how I really got on board with the Golden Gate Bridge. It was dating back to last year. Because originally, when I thought of the next 9/11, I've always thought it would be, the power grid going down. Buddies and I, would always talk about it even prior to 2020. And then it was that one Instagram post that the Spurs had posted prior to the Francis Scott Key Bridge going down. And it was just a graphic of, a big giant boot about to step on the Golden Gate Bridge. And that right there is when I knew, like, all right, they definitely have something coming, like, I don't know when it's going to happen, but, like, the pieces just started coming together the more I reached out, listening to Cody, AJ, Myron, and the puzzles like almost complete, is how I see it. That's about it. I mean, for me, I just wish I would have came a little bit more better prepared, having my notes done, but like,
no, you're fine, man. I mean,
yeah,
you just came off of work. I mean, here's one thing I'll share with you guys. And at the end of the day, I mean, sure, maybe it was hinting more that the Colts could end up in the Super Bowl. This was before everything happened with Dan Jones. But check this out, you guys. Myron, you might have heard about this story. There was a shooting in Santa Clara, like 10 miles away from 49er Stadium at a mall. I think it was called Waterfield Mall or something like that. Did you hear about this on Black Friday?
Yeah, you told me about it. Yeah, you told me about it on Black Friday.
That took place 201 days after the Colts coach's birthday. And it was also 60 days after is it Chelsea Irsay? It's the daughter of Jim Irsay who died earlier this year.
Okay.
And so my point is it's Super Bowl 60. Indianapolis equals 201. It happens right down the road from 49er Stadium, right? If anything, what that was is that was a hint that Dan Jones is about to get sniped. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, just the number alignment was crazy with that. But especially with how close it was to, you know, the stadium where the Super Bowl is going to be. And then now you have a blackout in San Francisco. Do you have anything Golden Age on the whole blackout thing going on in San Fran? Because that was popping off right as Myron was doing his thing that we broke down last night with the Tony Stark stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I talk about this a lot, you know, whenever I have conversations with like random people who aren't really familiar with the information. But, you know, once I had brought that up, you know, just like how they're planting the seeds and how paying tribute to the Blackout Bowl that took place in the previous year, the Snake in New Orleans, when the Super Bowl was in New Orleans, you know, just this year. Um, it- you know, for those who have eyes and seen ears to hear, you know, like this is becoming more clear and clear. It's just like that snake year, you know, it doesn't end until the 16th of February. 216, 6 times 6 times 6.
Yeah.
So,
Well, speaking of which, with that, I'm sorry, Golden, I don't want to interrupt
yeah, go
you,
ahead. Yeah.
but you just reminded me of something that I wish I brought up last night. Speaking of, let's reel this back to, before we do that, what did I say? That shooting happened on Black Friday, right? Then you have a blackout. And now Cody's done great work about the Blackout Bowl. See what I'm saying? So there's something going on with that. But do you guys remember when Greg Popovich, it was either his last season or the season before he retired, when the lowly Spurs went on this crazy heater? They won like, I don't know, 12 of their last like 15 games or something like that. I'm gonna have to go back and find it, but here's why this matters. This was huge. This is like probably the biggest 666 ritual I've ever seen. Seriously.
Okay.
The Spurs were awful. Golden State was still pretty decent, you know. The Spurs go into San Francisco, and the lowly Spurs, even though they were on a heater, it was like, okay, this is going to end soon, right? I mean, they won like 9, 10, 11, 12 straight, something like that. Now they have to go into San Francisco. The Spurs come back and win that game in San Francisco. And Greg Popovich improves regular season to 1,318 wins and 666 losses in San Francisco, home of the Church of Satan.
That had to have been his last year because he's at 1,390. And they just hung up that Raptor, you know, 139. That's a 34th prime.
I can try to start. It's out there. I'm just saying that happened.
That had to have been his last season then.
Because a lot of people in the community were like, wait a minute, look at this heater. Because you know what it was? Greg Popovich was sitting on 666 losses for a while, and people just kept riding it. And then they go, wait a minute, he could get to that 13-18 with the 666. And that's exactly what happened. And it happened in San Francisco, of all places.
That's crazy. Another San Francisco also. So next year when LeBron breaks the record, the 16-11 record, it'll be in 2026. So that means it'll be 415 years since the King James Bible was published, and 415 is San Francisco's area code. Yeah.
And also, I don't know if y'all are into crypto. I've done a lot of research about this, you know, Ripple XRP. That's one reason why I became so like attracted to Cody's channel, because I was heavily involved in XRP and still am. But you know, their headquarters is out there in San Francisco, and if you do research about XRP, they refer to it as a cross-border bridge currency that's gonna, you know, bring the world together for all these financial institutions and like every daily transactions. And they're basically the only like cryptocurrency like company essentially, and a SEC lawsuit, so like governmental, lawsuit. So that right there stood out to me. So like, okay, I always look for uh cryptocurrency that cryptocurrencies that are involved with the government and military, because those are the ones that they're going to use going forward. And last year, Brad Garlinghouse, who's the CEO of Ripple XRP right now, he appeared on 60 Minutes 60 days before his upcoming 54th birthday, to tie in with Super Bowl 60. And I don't find it a coincidence, that every like-minded person I meet, they just know of XRP. And I'm sure y'all are familiar with, all the connections that Cody made, from sneakers to the Matrix.
Oh, yeah.
It's and like it's its own community has riddles within it, riddlers in there as well. But XRP is definitely something to look out for in the future. When you do the ticker symbols for Ethereum, which is ETH, and then Bitcoin, which is BTC, it's 33 plus 25, and that equates to 58. And it all goes back to that number 58, because right now we're in a sitting Pope of Pope Leo XIV, which equals 58.
Oh.
And this blockchain money is going to be. I think it's another reason why they're planting the seeds, to like give out all these like stimulus like checks, get everyone on board with just receiving money, digitally even more.
Yeah, I mean, shout out Adam the Illusion. I mean, him pointing out more about how people are voluntarily walking up to the line to get those chips implanted in, of all places, their wrist or their hand.
Oh.
Or even tattoos, where hey, you can get essentially a barcode tattooed on you, and you're set for life. Don't do it. I'm not saying to you guys, don't do that. Don't do that.
Or even vaccines too, man. Small enough to get technology up in here, like nanotech.
Yeah.
Technology inside the so-called medicine.
I'm sorry. I'm totally listening. I'm really trying to just find that post so I can send it to you guys, what I was talking about with Greg Popovich, because like I said, that was the biggest 666 ritual I've ever seen. And I've seen a good handful. I know you guys have too. So to make sure you guys saw this one, because let's not forget, San Antonio equals 122. Satanic equals 122. It was on the 122nd Meridian West, home of the Church of Satan.
Bob actually announced his retirement too on the 122nd day of the year.
There you go. Chase, have you had a chance to watch him yet?
Oh yeah, I saw that movie in theaters, bro. Yeah, it took place in San Antonio. Marlon
exactly.
Wayans.
I was gonna say, like I told Myron last night, bro. Within 5 minutes, you're gonna start laughing, like how ridiculous, like how blatant it is. I think is what I said.
It was just more like, to me, that was like more confirmation for like Wemby's up next.
How so? You want to elaborate on that?
I just feel like they were just kind of symbolizing that franchise player as Wemby to be the next one up and coming to take over. Once LeBron retires, it is LeBron came into the league in 2003. Victor Wembanyama was born in a GOAT year, just like how that year was the GOAT. And it's just like like Myron was saying, the torch is being passed.
And what was it, you Golden, too, that you mentioned that your thought, or I think Myron, you as well, you guys are both on the side that LeBron is going to retire in the year of the GOAT, meaning he'll play this year. He's going to surpass Parrish in his own ritual. There's no way he's walking out before that. But even the year after, maybe that's his final year. Because that'll be a GOAT year,
24
right?
years for Kobe, yeah. And like, what better mockery would be for like, LeBron? Like, it's just like another barbershop narrative. Is be like, well, LeBron was still hooping even after Kobe Kobe's age when he died.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he at least waits to see if his other son gets into the NBA as well.
That's a whole other thing. He happens to be playing for my Arizona Wildcats right now. I mean, he's on the roster. He's not playing, but
Right.
it's just weird that he's like, why Arizona? You know what I mean? Bryce could be playing for a lot of college teams right now, but no, he'd rather just sit on the bench and they're the number one team in the country right now, you know?
Oh shit.
Yeah.
It was 201 days into Bryce Maximus James's age when he made that decision on New Year's Day this year, and Bryce Maximus James equals 201.
Did you? I did a post on that too. So after Bryce committed to Arizona, who did Arizona face last year, first round March Madness? Akron.
Oh my goodness, bro! Like,
dude, I'm telling you.
I mean, he has the same birthday as Donald Trump, so like,
yep,
that's very interesting.
Yep,
Gemini.
I just remembered when you guys remember when Trump. So you had LeBron in 2016 have that comeback against the Warriors, right? Same year that the Cubs win the World Series, beating Cleveland of all teams.
Yeah.
And then LeBron, I mean, a lot of celebrities, right, were going viral, freaking out about Trump becoming president. And it was something like LeBron was like, Trump, you're a bum. You guys remember that? That was like, I don't know. That's all I have to say. It just reminded me of that. People were, I mean, every tweet that came out. It's killing me. I can't find this post, but I don't want to drag it out because of that. Is there anything else you guys wanted to chat about? I mean, Duke, brings up a good point. Arizona equals 42. LeBron James equals 42. Call me biased, but yeah, there's just some weird things going on with Arizona down in Tucson lately. Think about this. Steve Kerr, another Spur, played his last ever game with the Spurs. Where did he go to school?
Arizona, yeah.
Arizona. He's one of only like 4 or 5 players that have their jerseys in the rafters. Who does he coach? Golden State. Huh. Weird. It's like that Spider-Man meme.
Yeah.
Like we're all like, wait a minute. Sorry, go ahead.
Speaking of Steve Kerr, he wore 2 numbers with the San Antonio Spurs. His most previous one, number 25, and then his first number when he came into the season, I believe in 1999, number 4. So you got your 25 and 4, like 254, 9/11 occurred on the 254th day of the year.
And and wow, whoa, that's a good one.
Yeah, bro. So it just goes to show like he's gonna probably be throwing in greatest coaches of all time, player coaches, Steve Kerr.
Well, and he just so happened to win multiple championships with Michael Jordan.
Yep.
So you got his Jordan alignment. Let's not forget about the upside down plane crash that happened on Michael Jordan's birthday on runway 23 this year, right as we're kicking off the year of plane crashes. And then what happened in the middle of the summer? You and I were sitting in it, Chase. All the flooding.
Oh yeah, dude, that was absurd. Like I was raining hard that day on July 4th. Yeah, I remember that.
It was several days, man.
Yeah, Kerr County isn't
Kerr County.
It's like less than an hour away from here.
That's what I'm saying, man. Kerr County was one of the most impacted areas, and shout out to Decoding with Cody and Rambo. All 3 of us, and I think Tommy Truthful, we all jumped on a live stream with Donut, and we did a breakdown of a movie that Cody brought to my attention. And it was literally about a real-time camp and kids who were, who perished, little ones. We kept saying little ones. We got to be careful, right? It's a sensitive subject. But there was a story, right? I think the Bushes like owned part of this property, or they were counselors back in the day at this camp in Texas this year. There's so much to it to recap, but there's a movie from like 1992 or 89, something like that, And I'm gonna have to go back and recap, but think about it. Kerr, we're 25. We're in the year 2025, and there's a whole scene when the parents in that movie get wind or hear the news about what's going on at the camp with their kids. There's one where a mother is in a she looks like she's in a sporting goods store, and there's like 3 25s behind her. One was like 25% off. The other one was like a 25 jersey in the background. It is creepy, man. But yeah, Steve Kerr. Think about that. Arizona, Steve Kerr, San Antonio, Golden State.
And then also there's a connection.
Like
Greg Popovich was actually an assistant coach under Don Nelson before he became a head coach in Golden State.
Yeah. Didn't Pop join them in the 88?
That sounds like it would make sense, but yeah, but to bounce off of that, we were talking about this last time, Myron. When we were talking about where Greg Popovich is from, he's from East Chicago, Indiana, which is not too far from Chicago.
Yeah,
you know, and then it's not too far where the king of pop lives in Gary, Indiana.
Yeah. Yeah, Michael
That
Jackson died the day Steph Curry came to the NBA.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you guys.
Yeah.
Man.
That was like some 2 a.m. chat right there. I forget you're 3 hours behind me too, so I was like, damn, you still up?
Yeah, man, I'm always up. I'm either working or just up. That's like my free time because I'm always working during the day, or sometimes I work overnight. So it's my only time to really research.
These revelations be hidden.
I have another Stark piece for y'all. So you know how I talked about Archie Stark, right? So Archie Stark played for the Bethlehem Steel. Bethlehem Steel made the Golden Gate Bridge. So Archie Stark died going into his 88th birthday, 208 days before his 88th birthday. The Golden Gate Bridge is 88 years old, of course, right now. Guess who played for the Warriors in 88 and wore Steph Curry's number?
John Starks.
John Starks played for the Warriors in 88. Dude. He had 3 different numbers for the Warriors, and one of his numbers was number 30 for the Warriors. And he played for the Warriors in 88. He wore number 3, number 9, and number 30.
Okay. So that's 42 right there.
Yeah, he played for the Warriors in 88. John Starks, and he ends up in New York.
The same year Steph Curry was born, 1988.
Yep.
That was the year of the dragon. Yeah.
I was like, okay, I only know one player in the history.
He's the only Stark. Yeah. There's no other Starks. I know Iron Man and I know John Starks. That's it.
Dude, that is wild, man.
Oh, jeez. How old is that one actor that plays him?
Oh, what's his name? Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, I wonder how old he is.
Right, or what birthday he has.
Let me see.
That's interesting because
he's 60 years old, has that 4/4 birthday, born in 65. You know, like how bridge collapse equals 65.
Right, and Iron Man is the color of the Golden Gate Bridge.
Let's see what his name equals.
Philadelphia also equals 65. Home of Robert Francis Prevost. Well, he's from Chicago, but he went to school, majored in mathematics. But Robert Downey, Robert Francis Prevost. The fact that our Pope now
Robert
majored
Downey
in
mathematics. 65.
He's 65?
No, he's 60 years old, but Robert Downey equals 65, like how he was born on 65.
Okay.
4/4, the 94th day of the year.
Philadelphia founded on the date leaving, 65 days left in the year. Oh yeah, hey Chase, did you I don't know if you caught this, but back to the Kawhi Leonard San Antonio themes. Kawhi, his birthday is the same date of the founding date of San Francisco. Did you know
Wow.
that?
I did not know that, and that's the one team that essentially like ended his Spurs career. Was Zaza Pachulia stepping on his ankle.
Yep, that's the only reason really the Warriors made it past San Antonio.
Yeah, I remember that shit like it was yesterday.
Yeah,
That Spurs team was stacked.
Well, speaking of
he was
Philly,
destroying them. He was destroying the Warriors.
Kawhi's what sent Kawhi to the finals that year with the Raptors? It was that fall away 3-pointer. You know what I'm talking about? That was against
Yeah.
Philly.
Against
Philly,
Philadelphia.
Oh my God, you guys.
And then they got obviously the VJ Edgecombe number 77, the whole Pop 77 narrative. Well, Tim Duncan right now is 49 years old, which is 7 times 7. And until Wemby, gets them champions under his name, Tim Duncan is still like considered the greatest Spur of all time. And I believe whenever he came into the league, Greg Popovich was 49 years old going on 50, but 50 is a huge number too, because right now the Spurs are in their 50th season and being in San Antonio. And when you add up the Spurs big three, 21, Tim Duncan plus 9, Tony Parker plus 20, Manu Ginobili equates to 50. And even the Admiral, he went number 50. So as soon as number 50 left, we get 21, 9, and 20 together. That equal 50.
Mr. S just says Anthony Joshua, San Antonio. Is that where he's from?
Anthony Joshua.
Isn't Anthony Joshua the one that beat Jake Paul?
Yeah.
Oh, damn, he's from San Antonio?
I don't know.
There's hella boxers here. Like, it's crazy, like, the amount of boxers that be here in San Antonio.
I'm just assuming, honestly. I don't know enough, but Mr. Esta's great.
That makes
work
sense.
Chat, so.
Yeah, I mean, I believe him because there's hella boxers here in San Antonio. A lot of Mexicans that box. Actually, it's crazy. I went to school with De'Aaron Fox's
Anthony
his
Antonio.
wife.
That's what it was. Anthony Antonio.
Oh, Anthony Antonio.
Same
okay.
man. Yeah.
Okay.
But it goes back to the Christ things. I mean, what did we talk about earlier, Myron? Jake and Jesus Shuttlesworth.
Yeah.
Jake and Jesus Shuttlesworth. I mean, for me, the moment I saw in him, I'm sorry to spoil the beginning for you, Myron, but yeah, it's the San Antonio Saviors football team.
No way.
Playing against the Atlanta Masons.
Oh,
no,
I didn't catch that.
God.
Yeah, they beat the Masons. I was like, dude, it's like 30 seconds into the movie, and I'm like,
that's crazy, man.
So ridiculous, dude. But yeah, it's just it's blatant. It's so blatant. Anyways,
I think we love that the Detroit narrative. How the founding day was 24/7.
Yep.
There is a lot of history, between San Antonio and Pistons, and even the LA connection too.
Yep.
Cade Cunningham. He played in for the Cowboys in college in Oklahoma, OSU.
Yep. And that the Andre the Giant, because he died on Pop's birthday, but when Hulk Hogan slammed Andre the Giant, that was at the Silverdome in Detroit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I when you brought up the palace, I think about that, the prince and the king and the palace.
Yeah,
I always just think of the malice at the palace in 2000.
I remember that day on watching ESPN when that thing went down.
Dude,
that was going viral. Mm-hmm.
Meta world peace.
Meta world peace in the
Meta AI now.
Steven Jackson, freaking related to George Perry Floyd of all people, man. He's a huge role in the 2003 NBA Finals.
Yeah.
Stack 5.
Oh, hey, really quick, Golden, do you remember the movie The Man in the Iron Mask?
I haven't seen that one.
With Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, it's old, but it was popular when it came out.
look at this. So like I mean, I don't even know exactly where I'm going with this, but there's something here because in Myron's presentation talking about the Pistons and Tayshaun Prince against the King, and then it made me think of Rip Hamilton. You remember Rip Hamilton, right, Golden?
Yeah. Oh yeah. He was a pivotal piece in the Pistons.
And what was his kind of main
The
thing?
mask.
The mask.
Yeah. Oh
Right?
yeah. He was known for wearing that mask.
Yeah. And last night's stream, we were talking about iron and steel, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
look at this. The man in the iron mask.
Rip Hamilton. Then he also play for the Portland Trailblazers, Rip City.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if he did. I just remember him on the Pistons. But check this out. Look. Right here. Directed by Ronald Wallace. And then I think about Malice in the Palace.
Or she.
Oh, dude, look. Yeah. So it's about a king.
Oh,
Look at this.
look, XIV, like Pope Leo XIV.
There you go.
King Louis, though. Yeah.
It's an action adventure film directed by Randall Wallace.
Came out the same year
think
Snake
Ben
Eye came
Wallace.
out.
Oh shit. Think Ben Wallace and Rasheed Wallace, right? So this movie was directed by a guy named Wallace, and he was in a Leonardo DiCaprio was in a dual role as the villainous King Louis the 14th and his imprisoned twin brother Felipe. Oh my god, dude. What were you just talking about? The twin brother stabbing story. Philip Rivers, the king. Dude. And I just so happen to think about the man in the iron mask because of Myron's presentation. And I read one sentence about this movie and it's all right there. Are you kidding me?
Doesn't the man in the iron mask ride a horse?
Well, you got to think at some point. Let's see.
Yeah.
Horse. Yep. You know there's horse riding in this. Look at that.
Yeah. He rides a horse.
He rides a horse.
Yeah.
You guys. Like I said, this is all I got so far, but this just hit my brain.
Well, I was going to say, yeah, we might have to add or find something with that.
Because LeBron wore the mask, Kobe wore the mask. Rip Hamilton, though, just so happened to have worn the mask.
Like, Kyrie, yep, when he was in
LeBron,
Boston.
Yeah.
Jaylen Brown.
Yep. But Rip Hamilton just stood out to me because he kind of, wasn't it like he got a nose injury and then once it was fine, he was just like, no, I play better.
Just kept it. Yeah, he just kept it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then also Chauncey Billups too. You know, he's been in the headline and has a lot of correlations with a lot of these teams.
Yeah, Big Shot.
Mr. Big Shot. Yep. Man in
Big Shot
iron mask. Wow.
And this year they actually brought on Big Sean, the Detroit Pistons, like for creative director role. And he has that. We have the same birthday, that 3/25 birthday, March 25th.
So you're a Pisces too, yeah?
I'm actually an Aries.
Oh, you're just on the cusp.
Yeah.
Right. Pisces ends on the 20th. Yeah.
Yeah, so the 5th, you know, fire equals 25 as does Aries. And like, it's crazy. I'm born on the 84th day of the year, the day leaving 281 days left in the year, and 84 is the 60th composite, and 281 is the 60th prime.
And I'm born on 8/4.
Yeah,
there you go.
And we're both fire signs.
Yeah,
and I'm water.
Yeah, I'm water. You got that the 315, right? The 15/3, the 17th triangular.
Yeah, the stabbing of Julius Caesar. What I always thought was crazy. We were just talking about stabbing stories. What I found the craziest, just looking at my own life, was what's weird is that March 15th is written 15/3. Like you said, the 17th triangular, and there's a gnarly 17 connection with Tim Salmon and Mike Trout, two of the biggest players for essentially my favorite team in baseball, the Angels, right? But even more simply than that, Jesus had the miracle catch of 153 fish. you know,
And
and
the
I
Pisces,
I
the
just so
fish.
happened to have played Jesus in a skit in high school. You know, I was kind of pushed into doing that, you know. But like, yeah, like okay, so I played Jesus, and then Jesus in the 153 miracle catch, and my birthday's 153. Like this is all way before I realized it until I just started looking. And I tell people all the time, everybody has alignments like this.
Yes,
Yeah.
there
If
truly
you
is an organic
if you take the time to learn and you just start looking around and look back at what you've
Yep.
been living through, it's every single person has those things for sure, guaranteed. Oh yeah, good one, Brandon. Knights wear iron masks, you know.
So
Yeah.
you're a life path
Knights
4, right? AJ,
I'm sorry,
you're a life path 4.
I'm a life path 1.
Are you sure? I mean, I think that is you're born in 1990, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so 3 plus 15 is 18, plus 19 is 37, plus 9 is, oh yeah, 46. Okay, yeah. Nice. Born on
Yeah.
46-day numerology. Okay.
Yeah. It's always so much, man. Like, you know, shout out to Sean Desad too. Widow's Son. Seriously, you guys, if you guys aren't keeping an eye on what Sean does when he posts, Sean, if you're listening, I love you, man. Love you like a brother. He brought to me, besides that 153 thing, yeah, and Brandon, you know, of course, a Pisces is a fish, right? 153
Yeah.
fish, etc. But think of, dude, get this. Are you in front of like a computer, Golden?
Yeah.
I guess I can pull it up right now, but I'll just have you do it. Take my 9th birthday, 1999, March 15th, to September 11th, 2001. How many days is that?
19.
This was not
the day you were born.
so my 9th birthday,
Okay.
1999.
3. Okay. Oh wow,
315,
999.
315, 1999 to September 11th, 2001.
Have to get it right here. How many days? Oh wow. 911 days.
On the nose, dude. And think about this. I was 9 years old, right, on my 9th birthday. 911 days later, I was 11 and 9/11 happened.
That's crazy.
So it's like the bookends of 9 and 11. My 9th birthday, and I was 11 years old. 911 days later was 9/11. Isn't that
That's
insane?
crazy. That's crazy.
I never would have found that without Sean. Ever. Like I never would have thought to do that. Maybe eventually, but
That's crazy. I gotta get Sean's info.
dude, for real. He is next level for sure. I mean, we're all on our different levels, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
Like we're all strong in certain areas and we have different lenses. It's just I'm forever grateful for Sean. He's one of the first people I
Yeah.
connected with, actually. So
Definitely one thing that I always like to do for like my decodes to get real deep is just, aligning the dates, the time, the location, the what sign, what's their zodiac sign, what season of the zodiac season are we in currently, and
Mhm.
finding all those. I mean, it all comes together. It's just like one big puzzle. But damn, that's crazy.
yeah, just so you guys can see this. March 15th, 1999, my 9th birthday to 9/11/2001.
Sick.
I was just like, dude, what do I do with that? I mean, that's just incredible. I don't know what else to say about it. Just amazing.
You remember 9/11? Like
I do.
pretty.
I do.
Yeah, I was at school.
I was only 4.
Of course, Dempsey's coming in here thinking that I'm acting like I'm something special. I'm just sharing an absolutely mind-blowing connection. So,
Yeah, it's just
you take it for what it's worth,
organic side.
Dempsey. You take it for what it's worth, Dempsey. Think what you want. I don't really care. But shout out to you, brother. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe. It's just amazing. Once again, shout out Widow's Son. That's incredible. Never would have found it without him. So, but we are at the almost hour 40 mark.
Yeah.
Was there anything else you guys wanted to I guess, add on or talk about before we kind of wrap things up? I know it's getting late.
No, I'm good. After the stream, my brain will probably start going all ready for the next piece.
Yeah, no kidding. Just make a mental note about Man in the Iron Mask. I think there's something there for sure.
Most definitely.
Especially with the iron we talked about yesterday. I didn't know that was going to come up today.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at that. I'm gonna probably look at John Starks a little bit, see what I can find.
What are you working on, Golden?
Let's see. Yeah, I mean, it's a great question, bro. Honestly, I do plan on doing another. My goal is to do like at least a presentation a week for my YouTube channel.
And where can people find you, brother? I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure I'm
so
subscribed to you. I just want to make sure that I can drop your links in the chat
yeah,
here.
my YouTube is Golden Age Deception, and the Instagram is also Golden Age Deception.
Did I spell it right here? I just pinned it. Spelled as it is, right?
Yes. Yeah, I have a lot of videos up, regarding, the whole 214 code, and it's like historically dates, of what happened on that day. I know and also found that I found 77 days into Greg Popovich's age is the 105th day of the year, and then 105 is the 77th composite. I thought that was pretty funny.
You've been mentioning composites lately, and shout out to Ricky, dear friend and follower of mine for years, and she's really gotten me onto the composite. Like, keep an eye on the composites because primes are important for sure, but
Yes.
composites are very, very much important too.
Yeah, it just goes to show you how versatile these numbers really are, and like 60's the 42nd composite, and then we all know the 60-42 parallel with Black history. 49's the 33rd. That's a huge number right there. I mean, like I said, Greg Popovich started coaching Duncan at age 49. Spurs equals 33.
Oh.
So yeah, composite numbers do matter.
Well, I guess in closing, Golden Age Deception, you guys, I have his tag right here in the chat pinned. You guys can also find it in the chat. I will also add it to the description of the video once we wrap. So you're doing, maybe I'm not following you. Hold on a second before I even forget. Let me make sure I'm following you. I didn't know you had a YouTube channel. If I did,
Yeah,
Golden Age Deception.
Yep.
Yeah, man. Hey, honestly said I wasn't subscribed to you. You just got a new sub from me right now. So now I'll be paying attention. But you guys can also find him on Instagram. Do you do more work on your YouTube or on your Instagram?
Like Instagram is more like a little more brief. I get more into depth on my videos. Yeah, but definitely I post pretty much daily on the Instagram, story wise, and then post here and there, like maybe like 1 or 2 a week, depending on how what's going on, and like how much well versed I am in it.
Well, I'm very glad that I was able to make sure to sign up to you guys. Make sure that everybody watching, you guys give him some love. Doesn't cost a thing.
Yes, sir. He's another one, man. Every time we chop it up on Instagram, my mind is always rolling. He drops a lot of good content.
Yeah, man, we're all just like fragments of like this puzzle that enlightening each other, and like that's what I was just telling my buddies. I was just like, it's crazy. I got a buddy out in Cali, buddy that's from Chicago, but he lives here in Texas now, and it's like we all are all like different ages, so we grew up in different eras, but we all have like special knowledge, and that's just like it's very beautiful, like to see this.
Yes, sir.
Disclaimer:
Yeah.
I'm from California, where Myron's from. That's why we grew up Clippers fans.
Oh.
But I lived in Chicago, so you're not fully wrong. You're not fully wrong.
Yeah, I mean that's still like symbolic right there, bro. I mean, I actually met someone here in San Antonio who lived in New York, and stayed in San Francisco, but like visited San Antonio pretty often. And we were chopping it up, and I was just telling him, about this information, and he knew everything that I was talking about.
Wow.
Really? That's rare.
I swear, I
That's
swear to
rare.
God, bro. Like his name was Angel, and like this dude knew even about the kill date. And like I was like, "When's the next kill date?" And this was back in September, and he said, in October 9th." I was like, my mouth just dropped, bro. I was just like, "Yo, what the hell?"
Hmm.
Like,
Dude, and his name's Angel. How divine
yeah,
is that?
Yeah, that's sick.
exactly, yeah. And this dude had like real like clear ass skin, like shining stuff, like real younger than me too, and he knew all about this stuff. And he said, I was like, "So do people in San Francisco think it's gonna like happen?" They're like, "Yes, man. They think it's gonna happen." I was like, "When do you think it's gonna happen? Before Trump turns 70? Before he turns 80, right?" He's like, "Yep." And like that's people from San Francisco talking about this, so that has gave me the chills.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
Really? I just get excited when I very softly throw an alignment out that's very hard to kind of not say that it's a little weird,
Yeah.
I probably strike out 9 times out of 10, but the one person I get excited, but for you to just link up with somebody named Angel and he's like, "Oh yeah, dude, the next kill date's next week." You're like, "What?" That's funny, man. That's really cool, dude.
Yeah, I mean, the first person I've ever met in person that knows, it's kind of like on my level of knowledge. And it's just weird, because I'm sure like wherever we go, we're constantly playing teacher.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's just like that's why I just like listening to y'all. I know, always learning.
Well, hey, I feel humbled as a child anytime I talk to you, Myron, Cody, Rambo. I mean, you guys are top of my list, honestly. But anytime
I
you're out,
actually met Myron during the inauguration time this in the beginning of this year on Zach's stream.
oh,
That's
okay.
how we
Yeah.
met. Uh-huh. That was right around the inauguration.
You guys were just like sharing comments in the chat and was like, "Oh, this guy
No, we
has
actually
got
hopped
some."
on the StreamYard.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Cool, man. That's what it's all about, right?
Yeah.
I love it. Well, thank you again, Chase, for jumping in, man. It was really good to hear from you again. And it would be a shame with us being geographically how close we are for us to not get together at some point. It'll be sooner than later. We're going to make it happen. But always a pleasure, man. I know it's a
Yeah.
lot juggling a full night of work and all that stuff. I'm just glad you were able to hop in, and it seemed like it was perfect timing right after Myron
Oh
finished.
yeah.
So
I'm glad you all kind of got off to a late start. I was my phone was like, "Oh, cool, they haven't started yet."
Yeah.
But final reminder, you guys, it is in the chat, but Golden Age Deception, you guys can find him on YouTube and Instagram. I just subscribed. I thought I already did, so I apologize, but I'm happy to be a subscriber. I look forward to your next video, and I'm certainly going to start watching some of your past videos.
Yes, sir.
And
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
if anything, next time we can set it up to where we can link your YouTube channel to mine when we go live. That way,
oh yeah.
those lives, are saved on your page as well.
Oh, that'd be great, man. And then actually, starting together on the same time.
Well, yeah,
And
you and I are in the same time zone, so we're good.
oh yeah, that's central.
Yes, sir.
We own that Chicago timeline.
Yep. Yeah, it always changes, but actually, no, it doesn't. Not Chicago. It feels like East Coast though, living in Chicago.
For real.
But anyways, hey Myron, close us out,
Yes, sir.
man. I have Myron. He got game. H3
Yes, sir.
GOTTGAM3_. Myron, thank you again so much for the incredible work, and I know that a bit of it stemmed from Golden Age. You guys are doing amazing work. I'm just honored to be a part of it. I'm happy to be able to share it, and I'm definitely looking forward to the next one. That's for sure.
Yes, indeed. Likewise, I always appreciate the knowledge coming from you both, and I'm definitely looking forward to the next one as well.
So people, as of right now, can only find you on Instagram, and all of your archived work, keep me honest here, is going to be in the highlighted section of your Instagram channel, right?
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. So yeah, please, you guys, make sure to give these guys some love. Likes, subs, follows. It really does mean a lot. It helps grow the channels, get the word out, get more people together when we do these collaborations. And I had a blast with you guys, seriously. If you guys need to drop off, no worries. I won't be dropping off right after. You guys can just hang out and then we can talk offline if you would like. But otherwise, you know, I know you guys got lives to live too. So
yeah.
So that said, without further ado, everybody have a great night. AJ, Ball Don't Lie, 3 L's and Ball. We'll see you guys later. Until next time.
Yes, sir. Love.
Until next time, guys. Thank you so much.